Your water heater is probably costing you money right now, and you have no idea it is happening. Most homeowners treat their water heater like a set-it-and-forget-it appliance, and that single mindset ends up draining thousands of dollars over just a few years. After over 25 years of working on these units, I have seen the same costly mistakes in almost every home I walk into. Today, I am breaking down 12 water heater mistakes that are quietly bleeding your wallet dry. And stick around, because number 9 is one that leads to completely unnecessary replacements. Plus, I have got a bonus tip at the end that most pros will not tell you. The first water heater mistake that costs homeowners the most money over time is never flushing the tank. Every single day, minerals in your water settle to the bottom of your tank. Calcium, lime, sediment, it all builds up layer after layer. Over a year or two, you can end up with inches of hardened sediment sitting right on top of the burner plate or heating elements. What happens next is simple physics. Your water heater has to work harder and run longer to heat water through that thick layer of crud. You will hear popping and rumbling sounds, and that is literally the sound of your money burning. A tank that should last 12 to 15 years might give out in 6 or 7 because of this alone. The fix takes about 20 minutes once a year. You connect a garden hose to the drain valve at the bottom, run it outside or into a floor drain, and flush until the water runs clear. If you have never done it, you might need to do it twice. Some homeowners in areas with hard water should flush every 6 months. This one simple task can save you hundreds a year in energy costs and add years to the life of your tank. The second mistake quietly draining your wallet is setting the temperature too high. Most water heaters ship from the factory set to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hotter than almost any household needs, and it is costing you real money every single month. The Department of Energy recommends 120 degrees for most homes. That 20-degree difference does not sound like much, but it can save you anywhere from 6 to 10% on your water heating costs annually. Beyond the energy waste, 140 degrees can scald skin in under 5 seconds, which is a serious concern if you have kids or elderly family members in the house. Grab a flathead screwdriver, pop the small panel on your electric unit, or turn the dial on your gas unit and bring it down to 120. You will not notice any difference in your showers, but you will absolutely notice it on your utility bill. The third mistake, and one of the most damaging, is ignoring the anode rod. If you have never heard of an anode rod, you are not alone, and that is exactly why this mistake is so expensive. Inside your tank, there is a metal rod, usually magnesium or aluminum, that hangs from the top and extends down into the water. Its entire job is to corrode, so your tank does not. It sacrifices itself to attract the minerals and chemicals that would otherwise eat through the steel lining of your tank. The problem is that once that rod is fully corroded, there is nothing protecting your tank anymore. Rust starts forming on the inside walls, and once that happens, the tank is done. A replacement anode rod costs $15 to $30. A new water heater costs $800 to $2,000 installed. You should check the anode rod every 3 to 4 years. Pull it out from the top of the tank using a 1 1/16-inch socket. If it is less than half an inch thick or covered in calcium, replace it immediately. This is the single easiest way to double the life of your water heater. Now, if this kind of practical plumbing knowledge is something you want more of, I have written a guide called 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes that will save you $10,000. It is packed with repairs you can do yourself this weekend without calling a plumber. Scan the QR code right now or check the first link below. All right, let us continue. The fourth mistake that catches a lot of homeowners off guard is skipping the expansion tank. Here is why this matters. Many homes have what is called a closed plumbing system, meaning there is a backflow preventer or check valve on the main water line that stops water from flowing back to the city supply. When your water heater heats water, that water expands. In an open system, the expanded volume just pushes back into the main line. In a closed system, it has nowhere to go. That pressure builds up inside your tank and your pipes, stressing joints, valves, and the tank itself. An expansion tank, which is a small tank usually mounted on the cold water line above the heater, absorbs that extra pressure. Without one, you are putting unnecessary stress on your entire plumbing system every single heating cycle. Most modern plumbing codes now require them in closed systems, and the tank itself costs around $40 to $80. Ignoring this can lead to premature TPR valve failures, pinhole leaks in copper lines, and even early tank failure. The fifth mistake is installing the wrong size water heater for your home. This one happens at the point of purchase, and it follows you every single day for the next decade. A tank that is too small runs constantly trying to keep up with demand, burning through energy and wearing out components years ahead of schedule. A tank that is too big heats water you never use, wasting energy day after day. The general guideline is 30 to 40 gallons for 1 to 2 people, 40 to 50 gallons for 2 to 3 people, 50 to 60 gallons for 3 to 4 people, and 60 to 80 gallons for 5 or more. But those are just starting points. You also need to factor in how many bathrooms you have, whether you run appliances simultaneously, and whether you have a dishwasher and washing machine going at the same time. Getting this right at the beginning saves you money every month for the life of the unit. The sixth mistake is one that genuinely scares me, and it is neglecting the TPR valve. TPR stands for Temperature and Pressure Relief Valve, and it is the single most important safety device on your water heater. If pressure or temperature inside the tank exceeds safe limits, this valve opens and releases water to prevent a catastrophic failure. We are talking about a potential explosion. The problem is most homeowners never test it. Over time, mineral deposits can freeze it shut, which means if your tank overheats or overpressurizes, there is no safety release. Testing it is simple. Lift the lever on the valve and let it snap back. You should see a small burst of water come out of the discharge tube. If nothing comes out or it drips continuously afterward, replace it immediately. TPR valves cost around $10 to $20 and take 15 minutes to swap. Do this test once a year without fail. The seventh mistake that quietly adds up is poor pipe insulation. The hot water pipes coming out of your water heater lose heat every inch of the way to your faucets and fixtures. Without insulation, you can lose 10 to 15% of the heat before the water even reaches you. That means your heater has to work harder, and you end up running the tap longer waiting for hot water, which wastes both energy and water. Foam pipe insulation sleeves cost a few dollars for a 6-foot section and take minutes to install. You just slide them over the exposed hot water pipes, especially the first 3 to 6 feet coming out of the heater. If your heater is in an unheated garage or basement, this becomes even more critical. It is one of the cheapest improvements you can make with one of the best returns. The eighth mistake on this list is ignoring water heater location clearance. A lot of homeowners store boxes, paint cans, cleaning supplies, and all sorts of clutter right up against their water heater. For gas units, this is a genuine fire hazard. Most manufacturers and building codes require a minimum clearance of 12 inches on all sides for proper ventilation and combustion air. Even for electric units, piling things around the heater restricts airflow and makes maintenance nearly impossible. I have walked into homes where people could not even access the drain valve or thermostat because of storage jammed around the unit. Clear the area around your water heater. Keep it accessible. Check your local code for specific clearance requirements because they do vary by municipality and fuel type. The ninth mistake is one that leads to thousands of dollars in unnecessary replacements and that is not checking the dip tube. The dip tube is a plastic pipe inside the tank that directs cold incoming water to the bottom where it gets heated. When this tube cracks or deteriorates, cold water mixes with the hot water at the top of the tank. The result is lukewarm water at your faucets. Most homeowners and even some plumbers assume the tank itself has failed and recommend a full replacement. But the real problem is a broken $3 plastic tube. Dip tubes, especially the ones made in the mid to late 90s, were prone to disintegrating. If your water suddenly feels lukewarm and you are finding small white plastic flakes in your aerators and filter screens, the dip tube is almost certainly the culprit. Replacing it involves removing the cold water inlet nipple at the top of the tank and pulling the old tube out. A new one costs under $10. Compare that to buying and installing a whole new heater, and you understand why knowing about this part matters so much. The 10th mistake is using the wrong connectors or mixing metals during installation. Galvanic corrosion is a real and common problem, and it happens when two dissimilar metals, like copper and galvanized steel, come into direct contact in the presence of water. The result is accelerated corrosion at the joint, leading to leaks, restricted flow, and eventual failure. This is especially common at the water heater connections, where the supply lines meet the tank nipples. The solution is a dielectric union or a dielectric nipple, which creates a barrier between the two metals. These fittings cost a few dollars each and prevent a problem that can destroy connections within just a few years. If you are using braided stainless steel flex connectors, make sure they are rated for water heater use and that you still have proper dielectric separation. I have seen homeowners and even some contractors skip this step, and it always comes back to haunt them. The 11th mistake that trips people up at the store is ignoring the first hour rating. Most people shop for a water heater based on tank size alone. They see 50 gallons and think that means they will have 50 gallons of hot water ready to go. But the number that actually matters for performance is the first hour rating. This tells you how many gallons of hot water the unit can deliver in the first hour of use, starting with a full tank. A 50-gallon tank might have a first hour rating anywhere from 55 to 80 gallons, depending on the burner or element efficiency and recovery speed. If your household uses 60 gallons during the morning rush and you buy a unit with a first hour rating of 56, you are going to run out of hot water. Check the yellow Energy Guide label on any unit before you buy. Match the first hour rating to your peak hour demand, not just your tank size. This one number makes the difference between a water heater that keeps up and one that leaves someone in a cold shower every morning. The 12th and final mistake is not upgrading when your water heater's efficiency drops. A lot of homeowners wait until their water heater completely dies before they replace it. I understand the logic. You do not want to throw away something that still works. But a water heater that is 10 or 12 years old is operating at a fraction of its original efficiency. Sediment buildup, corroded components, and aging insulation all contribute to rising energy costs year after year. At some point, you are paying more to keep the old unit running than it would cost to invest in a new, efficient model. Modern water heaters, especially heat pump hybrid models, can cut water heating costs by 50 to 60% compared to a standard unit from 15 years ago. If your unit is past the 10-year mark and your energy bills keep climbing, run the numbers. Factor in your monthly energy cost, multiply by 12, and compare what you would save over 5 years with a new high-efficiency unit. In many cases, the new heater pays for itself within 3 to 4 years. All right, here is the bonus tip that pros actually use, but almost never talk about. If you have a gas water heater, check the flame color at least once a year. Pull off the small access panel near the bottom and look at the burner flame. It should be a steady, clean blue with maybe a tiny yellow tip. If you see a lazy, mostly yellow or orange flame, that means incomplete combustion. You are wasting gas, producing excess carbon monoxide, and your heater is running far less efficiently than it should. The usual fix is cleaning the burner assembly and making sure the air intake is not blocked by dust, lint, or debris. A vacuum and a soft brush can do the job in 10 minutes. This one visual check can save you money on gas, keep your family safer from carbon monoxide, and help your unit run the way it was designed to. It is the kind of thing that takes seconds to spot, but years to cost you if you ignore it. All right, that is the full breakdown. If this was useful, you will love the full book. 50 step-by-step plumbing fixes with diagrams, all in one guide. Link is below. Hit subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Thanks for watching.